Good afternoon, Harlem and Harlems of the world. I'm Terry Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. We are the voice and the drumbeat of Harlem and the Harlems of the world. You can find us on YouTube, all social media. Knowledge is power, and it's critical in such a time as this. Media matters. Black media matters. Today, I have the honor of having two cast members of the upcoming stage reading, Sleeping with Knives. And that is in the person of Reverend Rhonda McLean, Akanke, and Euridice Robinson. It's a powerful thing. The stage reading of Sleeping with Knives is coming up on Monday, the 24th. That is tomorrow. It'll be at the MMAC Theater, and that is in Manhattan on 60th Street. Show starts at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30. I believe there is a fee of $25. And this is going to be some great Black theater. The creator and the director is Benja K. Thomas, and she has put this together with an ensemble of women whose voices are bold, funny, heartbreaking, hopeful, and more. So we are just honored. I think there are about 8 women in this cast, and it's intergenerational, really telling our stories and resolving our stories. So either one of you, Reverend Rhonda Akanke or Euridice, would you please share just a bit about yourself, how you came to Sleeping with Knives? What is Sleeping with Knives? And how is the play structured? Either one of you. Hit the button. Let's go.
Hit the button. I'll hit the button. Good morning. So my name is Euridice Robinson. A little about me. By day, I bridge data analysis, and community leadership. By heart, I'm a poet, a mother, a leather artisan, and I'm the founder behind Yuri Lux. On Monday night, I'll bringing words to the stage to explore what it really means to move through fear and reclaim my peace.
Okay. All right. Concise.
Mhm.
Reverend Rhonda Akanke, Sleeping with Knives. Where's that coming from?
So I am uh, Reverend Rhonda Akanke, and I uh, sleeping with knives for me is about a lot of things and can be anything. It can be fear. It can be a relationship. It can be a job. It can be a scar or a wound, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Um, and so for me, it's a lot of things. It can represent cutting through uh, life's trials and tribulations. So it represents a lot of things.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. I was heard Benja K, creator and director, and that was on an amazing interview that happened this week on WBAI, and that was with the one and only Marcia Pendleton Walk Tall. And I thought it was just so interesting because Benji shared, and she shared that one night, some time ago, and I believe it was in California, she was sleeping, and her husband at the time woke up in a nightmare. And I believe shared that nightmare. And the nightmare was that someone was stabbing him. And simultaneously, when he said that, she was actually dreaming that she was stabbing him. And at that point, she said she knew it was time for a transition in the relationship. So I thought that was extremely powerful that that's how Sleeping with Knives came about. And she said for a long time, she had been thinking of doing it as a screenplay or something. But this year, after she had a surgery and she was recuperating, she just said, okay, it's time. It's time to bring out the Sleeping with Knives. Would either one of you like to comment on that? And I don't know, just in terms of the ensemble piece, if you were privy to that information when you were asked to respond to Sleeping with Knives.
Um,
Not an easy.
I'll let Miss Rhonda go first.
Okay.
Um, I did know the origin of her intent, of why she wanted to do it and how it came about. Um, I wasn't sure how I could identify with it at first, and then lots of things started coming to me to write about. So, yes, I did know some of the origin story.
Euridice? Thank you.
Well, when I was asked to be a part of this production, and I was really honored by it, because I by myself no means consider myself to be an actress. So I was really honored that she asked me to be a part of it. And when she shared what and how it came about, as Reverend Rhonda said, it can mean anything. It can be about anything. And in writing my piece, I found that, sleeping with knives, it doesn't have to be literal, but it can, be a piece that kind of just inspires you to reflect and see what can move the needle for you in a new direction.
Okay. Okay. And Reverend Rhonda, just to go a little further, the Sleeping with Knives for you, how did you interpret that?
How
So
did I
easy.
what?
How did you interpret Sleeping with Knives into your piece?
Well, I thought about secrets or things that you hold that have happened to you or that you've experienced that the majority of people you know and don't know about you, or that you haven't shared with the world. Um, I thought about, oh, lots of things, relationships, a bus accident I was in where they had to cut through my clothes to get to the problems. I thought about uh, when you are trying to get out of a relationship, domestic violence. A lot of stuff came up. I didn't personally experience domestic violence in my personal relationships, but it was in I did experience it in family. And so um, a lot of things came up after a while.
Okay. I would say as we're moving forth, and this is an ensemble of women and such a topic as Sleeping with Knives, as both of you shared. And I'm Terry Wisdom. This is Harlem Network News. And I'm here with Reverend Rhonda Akanke McLean-Nur and with Euridice Robinson. And we're talking about the play Sleeping with Knives. But a thought that came to me initially when I heard about it, an ensemble of women and, just issues. It really brought me back to a time, and I don't even know if it's 20 years ago, how many years ago, when we had Colored Girls by Antizaki Shange, and when we had Spell, uh, number 7 by Antizaki Shange. And these were the voices of women that had gone through so much and endured so much. And it made me think in 2026, are we there? Are we still there? What's the evolution of this? Would either one of you like to address this in terms of the view that you see of this kind of peace? Hard question.
Um, I would say that, yeah, in many ways we're still there. Um, with this particular piece, I took it literally, but then I had to reflect, like sleeping beside the blade, and the blade can be fear, the blade can be silence. Um, and when you have that as a blade, it can feel like self-preservation, right? Um, and in reality, it becomes a prison. So if you're not dealing with the fear or the silence, um, you can tell that it's a risk. You have like an emotional risk um, to being able to determine whether you're in danger. But in this piece, I can. I finally can determine whether I am in danger or not. And if I am able to risk being vulnerable and emotional enough to share and reclaim my peace.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. And Reverend Rhonda Akanke.
Um, uh, the as women and as Black women, we have gone through and carried uh, for centuries, and the Ndizake Shange, God rest her soul, um,
Ashe.
it gave us an opportunity to give a voice to the things that we suppress and we carry silently so that our families can survive, our children can survive. That in our survival mode and in our warrior states, to protect our families, we sometimes have been very silent. And, as women, period, we have been oppressed and silent for centuries. So that gave a voice for specifically things happening at that time. But the general reality of pain and suffering in relationships, in relationship to for color girls, is a reality, and you have generational trauma and things passed down from mother to daughter to granddaughters. So our silence is also institutionalized with racism. So I think in 2026, we're speaking from what is happening in this generation of women and intergenerational women, and the things that are impacting us, not just in our homes but in society at large, in our communities. So I think there's a parallel, but the difference is we're in a new age. We have technology now. There's a lot of things that are happening, and a lot of um, growth or development that has happened with things like domestic violence and with things like child abuse. Life has moved along, but there are still the silence where we feel like we can't share what's happening in our lives, and we can't find peace because we don't share. So this piece gives an opportunity for women to share their scars, their wounds, and the way they've overcome them. Um, and not necessarily just with relationships, but with themselves as well.
Yeah, it's a lot. I feel the society has moved along, and it's even more complex. As you said, we're in the technical revolution of technology, all of the social media that we have, and now we have the advent of AI. But what came to me as you were speaking, Reverend Rhonda Kage, um, is the thought of the violence, because that is something that I am focused on constantly. The gun violence that's happening, the violence that's happening to people. As many of you know, my son, Ali Sam Wayman Wisdom, Columbo the Shining Star, was shot and killed 4 years ago. So that's a mantle that I've taken up. I am on BAI doing a series on gun violence every Tuesday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. But it kind of is a reflection, because in those spell number 7 days, those colored girl days, we weren't really talking about this kind of gun violence that has really been mainstream right now. Maybe because of the media attention. But when we look back to the past, that is when our family members were being hung. Strange fruit. Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit. So it's the evolution of these things is on another level, and it's many, 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 many people that are impacted by this violence that is occurring in our families primarily, and primarily to a lot of young Black and brown males. So without further ado, and I'm going to have you hit the button, we're going to hear a snippet of the pieces that you're going to do. And you all heard this first on Harlem Network News. So I'm hitting the button. Let's go. It's a game show. Life. Let's go.
So I'll start my piece. I never liked him. Whenever him and his daughter were around, it was like I became invisible. I became the nuisance. You want to know what's crazy? My mom walked through the door one day holding her bouquet of flowers and announced they were married. I mean, like, what the fuck, Mom? That's when I knew he wasn't leaving. Now I guess I'm stuck with him. At this point, I'm hoping he gets hit by a Mack truck. And this is something that I haven't thought about in years. I remember him and how he used to creep into my bedroom at night. I remember how it happened. It happened more than once. And so that's a snippet of what you can expect to receive.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the courage. Okay, Reverend Rhonda Akanke.
I could hear the doctors and nurses talking and my parents crying while simultaneously blaming each other for what I had done. The frantic noises and sounds of the emergency room only took a minuscule of a second in my mind as I drifted in and out of consciousness. I was there. My eyes were closed and they thought I was asleep. But I was just as high as a kite, floating on a cloud off of the 90 pills I had ingested over a 3-day period. That's my snippet.
Thank you for sharing. And we encourage everybody to reach out. Sleeping with Knives, created and directed by Benja Thomas. We're looking forward. I believe this is an ensemble of, is it 8 women?
10.
10. Okay. So an ensemble of 10 women formidable actresses, poets, storytellers. And it's, for me, interesting that at this time in 2026, we're here. And I know that there's an evolution of healing. It's interesting, as we're speaking about sleeping with knives, and this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terry Wisdom. And I came across something, scrolling on Instagram, where there was a woman and she was saying, I guess there are people that may be envious of you, maybe this or that. This is another like look at like sleeping with knives. And she was kind of like, if you put like a knife under your bed, then those people, the envy will disappear. And the person who's trying to do stuff to you, they'll be harmed. And I just thought, I was like, whoa, it's one thing putting a knife under your bed for your healing and for no one to, bother you. But to have it harm someone else, that's a whole nother level. So I don't know if there's a response to that, but the sleeping with knives brings up a whole lot, and it means different things. But I think it's important at this time that we really look at the realities of what happens. And, when we think of women and we think of our families and we think of coming across on the Ma'afa, it's a lot that is being carried. Or even when we think in some greater societies that initially women didn't have the right to vote, women didn't have the right to own property. So there's a lot of things that come up with this. But then back in Africa, there were actually matriarchal societies. So it's a very complex thing that we're looking at. So I'm looking forward to hearing more than a snippet, hearing the voices of the other 8 women, seeing what Benja K wrote. Benja K is a legend. I just like saying that, Benja K. So we're looking for all of that. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us on Harlem Network News. We love exposing our audience to news, to media, to culture, to theater, to the spiritual, and to the cultural.
Terry, can I just say one thing
Yes, you may.
as we're closing?
Absolutely.
Besides the director and producer, Benja K. Thomas, the other actors in the show are Renee Joshua Porter, Letitia Guillory, Justine Hall, Leslie Jones Jackson, Renee Flemings, Greer Morrison, uh, Gail Benjamin Rhodes, and my mentee, Shadina Shavad. So these are some dynamic powerhouse women. And when you hear your story from another woman, it helps to free you. Theater gives you a cathartic experience, things that you might have never been able to say or tell anybody. And listening to some of these stories, hopefully, when you come, you'll be able to identify or share in the praise and the shout of women freeing themselves and opening up their voices. And maybe you will begin to open up yours.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. And Harlem Network News, we do all kinds of things. So this is very empowering. And we want to encourage everybody to come out to see Sleeping with Knives. It's tomorrow, 7 p.m. at the MMAC Theater. That's on 60th Street. You can go to Eventbrite and search Sleeping with Knives. And certainly you can call us at Harlem Network News. We're at 646-261-5397 for more information, or reach out to us via email, Harlem Network News at gmail.com. And we need you to support Black media. We matter. You can donate, subscribe, or even become a member. You can Zell us at Harlem Network News at gmail.com, Cash App us at $ Harlem Network News. And I just want to say that we appreciate you all, the people, greatly. We saw many of you out at Harlem Week when we had our booth, and that was a wonderful thing. You know, just connecting and seeing with you in person. So spread the word. Spread the word. You matter. And thank you, my sisters. Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Have a blessed day and
You
stay
too.
strong and powerful and filled with love. Love, 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 love. That is the answer.